Good day everyone! Just like I promised you, I've done a Battlerite video for Raigon. I have literally explained every Battlerite, how do they change from the basic ability. Then, for a conclusion, I'm going to say what Battlerites are the best, or in my opinion, are worth taking over the others, and especially in what situations, because it's not like there is one way of building the champion. So let's go to them. Overflowing power. Your next sword slash after Heavenly Strike sends forth a slicing wind, dealing 10 damage and restoring 14 health. Aerial Strike. Seismic Shock can be recast to leap and strike the airborne target, dealing 4 damage and increasing air duration by 0.5 seconds. Riposte. Power can be recasted to perform a spinning slash that hits twice, dealing 12 damage and inflicting stun that lasts 0.25 seconds. Royal Descent. Heavenly Strike deals an additional 7 damage to enemies struck. Headlong Rush. The dash length of Retribution is increased by 30%. Duelist. Each parried attack gives you 1 weapon charge. Invigorate. When power ends, heal yourself and nearby allies for 8 health. Dragon Mastery. Landing Dragon Palm allows you to recast it for 1.5 seconds. Shockwave. Seismic Shock deals 4 bonus damage and 10 damage to nearby enemies. Sword Dance. Sword Slash hits reduces the cooldown of power by 1 second. Hawk Dive. Heavenly Strike inflicts 1.2 fading snare on hit. Resolve. Maximum energy is increased by 25% and Retribution grants 7% bonus energy. The Tiger and the Dragon. Wrath of the Tiger ends with a Heavenly Strike. The Power of the Blade. Every unique target struck grants you 10 health. Now I guess it's time to explain certain Battlerites and when they should be taken and why. I mean, let's start with Overflowing Power. This ability is quite simple, this Battleright, because it only gives you like 1 slicing wind. So it's self-explanatory. Does bonus damage, actually no bonus damage, because even though you have slicing winds, when you hit someone it's still 10 damage. So it's mostly taken if you want that health. And if you're using your Heavenly Strike, it's usually that you will actually be close to the target, so you might hit that easily. Then again, the earlier strike, which well, allows you to recast your E, is pretty much used if you want to continue the pressure, because normal seismic shock is mostly CC. You just CC someone and you're still far away from them. Then again, if you would have the recast, you might, for example, recast it before they hit the ground, and then you're pretty much on them to continue the pressure, for example. Or you might use this Battlerites to actually engage with seismic shock, because as normally you only are knocking up, then again you might use it to go in on the enemy. Okay, a riposte is pretty much what I would be recommending out of the two, because let's say there is Bako with bulwark or someone using counters and stuff, so you're pressuring, you're attacking, and then you're countering out of nowhere, but you see counter of enemy. So what do? You just go with it, stun the enemies, breaking whatever they have, because this is area damage, so you can just attack anyone around you, and then continue the pressure. Battlerites in the second round are kind of the worst in the game, because they are pretty not really changing much. I mean, Royal Descent, it only gives you more damage on your Heavenly Strike. It's not like it's easy to hit, because it takes time, it also can be dodged like anything else. So just increasing damage is cool and all, but you just need to know that you want that damage. So that's it, just increase damage, nothing else. Headlong Rush is useless. Just like I showed in the video, the range it changes is insignificant. It doesn't really help at all, because it's pretty short and I don't know, doesn't really affect the gameplay that much. Then again, Duelist. As long as you're in a game, because after first round you know how the game look like, in like how you're doing, what is happening, whether you actually get damaged a lot and stuff. That's why if you're going for the Duelist, you need to be sure that it will be useful. You can have 3 stacks total, so if you're using parry, you kind of need to know whether you'll get hit times at least, so it will be the most beneficial to you. Overall, I would go for the damage myself. Although, like I said, it's all situational. You just need to know yourself what is going to be the best. Round 3rd, on the other hand, allows kind of a gameplay change. Because Invigorate, for example, heals your allies. So Raigon, who is kind of a DPS, he actually pressures enemies in melee range. He's not going to be always close to his teammates. That's why his healing on it will be mostly used on himself, and 8 health is not really much. For many champions it's not even a basic attack. It's too slow to consider it. Then again, Dragon Mastery. It's the best one in here, because double recast on the R, which costs energy, and stuns allows you to pressure enemy quite well. If you'd have your weapon charged, like Retribution for example, you can stun someone, use Retribution, and stun again with that Battlerites. That's why, and doing that without enemy even moving. So you're applying a lot of damage, full combo, healing yourself too, without enemy moving. Then again, you might use it on 2 enemies, for example. Stun one and then instantly dash and switch onto someone else. Well, this combo also allows you to, for example, knock back someone, space on them, and stun them again. So you have those chances of an outplay. That's why this is the best one. Although I still have to say something about Shockwave. So Shockwave is damage only. Like it was shown, it only deals damage in the area and stuff. So if you want to go for more damage, if enemies are swarming together, maybe you can take it, but it's just damage. Fourth round for some might be deciding, because Parry, as the only defense ability of Raigon, might be quite nice if you were able to use it often. And what Sword Slash gives you? Damage reduction on it. As a main ability, you're going to be using a lot of Sword Slashes. That's why getting parry more often, especially with other abilities, if you, for example, take other Battlerites, might be helpful. But then again, it's all you want to do, dependent on how the game looks like, whether you're attacking a lot with the Sword Slash. So it's up to you. But it's nice. Then again, Hog Dive is pretty much bad, I guess. It only gives like 1.2 fading snare every 9 seconds, so it's not really much. Esmo, for example, has 1.5 second fading snare on 5 hits, and he recharges them all the time. So those Battlerites compared to each other are, well, I wouldn't really recommend it, because for such a small slow, wasting a Battlerite when there are others better than it, it's not worth. Then again, Resolve. This is what happens with many champions, like on Esmo we could see that. Increased energy, maximum energy, and then an ability that gives more of energy. So as long as you're using a lot of your retribution, you might, well, get more energy. It's like 7 more, so it's twice as much for each retribution. Because you can use retribution, use couple heads, then another, and so on. And then it's more energy. So even with increased energy, you'd be getting a lot of it. Because it's like Shifu's Impale. 3 attacks, resolve, retribution. 3 attacks, retribution, and so on. And gaining more energy pretty much gives you the advantage to use more X abilities, ulti sooner, maybe more ultis in a game. But then again, Battlerites are situational. I'm going to say that a lot, but that's the truth. You need to know what do you need. Like whether reduced power, whether more energy, and so on. Just don't really take Hog Dive, it's kind of useless. 5th round is the last one. So, seeing how you struggled to it, you need to know, you have to know what is happening in the game. Heavenly Strike is an ability that has a fixed range, so you need to keep that in mind when using the ulti, and the Tiger and the Dragon Battlerite. Because even though you won't have a dash after the ulti, Heavenly Strike still is fixed. It jumps the same distance. So using that might be useless if you have the ulti that enemies escape from, or for example stay in the middle of it. So considering that, you won't even attack them with it. Then again, the power of the blade heals you for each unique enemy struck. So in 3v3 it's 30 health, in 2v2 it's 20 health, but then again, if it's 5th round, you might be struggling. If it's also ultimate, you don't use it at the beginning of the game when you're full HP, so using it when you're lower might kind of give you a little bit of health you need to maybe continue fighting. Because there are many situations in which you use ulti when you're low on health. And for example, the ulti just saves you. Because if you're invulnerable during it, then when you have hit some people, you're going to have just slightly more health than you had before. So as you have guessed correctly, this is the end of Raigon Battlerite tutorial. I believe I explained everything properly, but if you have any questions, literally any, then ask them in the comments. I will answer all of them. Next video will be about combos Raigon can do, how he can combine his abilities, which ones and how much they're doing. I will show everything. So if you're interested, please thumb up this video, subscribe to my channel. Of course, you can also follow my Twitch channel, which is on which I'm streaming the most. And then again, join my Discord channel, because we're trying to build a community there. You can ask for help there, of like Battlerite help, or even talk about Battlerite and so on. That's why everything's in the description, so just check it out.